Hello, it is Monday, November 15th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is Monday, it is the beginning of the crossword solving week, which means it'll be the easiest crossword of the week, very possibly, very likely. We'll have to see, and I hope it is because I'm under a time crunch today, so I'm going to try and get through this quickly. I will remind you that the Patreon exists at patreon.com/dailysolve if you're interested in directly supporting this channel and getting access to a bunch of bonus solves and all kinds of other things. And also there's the new Twitter account at the Daily Solve and the Discord chat server, to which you can find an invitation in the description field underneath each video. And there you can chat with folks about this series and channel and other crosswords and constructing crosswords and other puzzles. Very fun. So check all those things out. They're all in the description field. And now I will also fairly speedily move on to, I think, only two comments from yesterday's puzzle to explain a few things. In one case, Richard Lorenzen writes, the chemical symbol for tin is SN, based on the Latin word stannum. And yes, this refers to a clue from yesterday's puzzle that I first wasn't sure about, and then I thought, TI tin, stannum tin. Why is that familiar? And the reason it was familiar is because I knew that chemical symbol SN, but for some reason I didn't feel confident enough about it to say it on the channel. But that's why it seemed appropriate. And as Richard points out, that is indeed the case. So another one, this is one I'd certainly never heard of, and neither had Kathy Swope. She says, I had never heard of elim from Webster's, the primordial first substance from which, according to some theories, the elements are supposed to be formed, specifically a primordial gas consisting of neutrons. So this is elim or ilum, Y-L-E-M, and as far as I can tell, in British English, it's pronounced elim, and in American English, ilum. And I had never seen that word before. I was doubtful as to my fill, but I was so confident about the other crosses that I figured, well, this must be it. It must be Y-L-E-M, elim. So that was new on me. Kathy also explains that oleander, the plant, is commonly known by gardeners as poisonous. It has two very potent cardiac glycosides found in all parts of the plant, and a single leaf can be lethal to a child eating it, although mortality is generally low in humans. So there we go. I've certainly heard of oleander, but I wasn't aware of those properties for whatever reason. So thank you to Kathy and Richard for filling me in on yesterday's puzzle. And let's get right on to today's. Let's get right on to the Monday. This is a puzzle that's been constructed by Ian Rathke, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So shall we get going? I say so. All right, alternative to subway or taxi. A bus, I would think. On the down low. Secretive? No, not secretive. Call to Little Bo Peep would be Ba, Little Bo Peep and her sheep in the children's nursery rhyme. A military branch for sailors, I assume to be the U.S. Navy. And hold on a second. The last runner in a relay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. When tripled catchphrase of the Muppets' Swedish Chef. Is it Bork, 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 I think is what he says. And here we have privately includes on an email. That would be BCCs for blind carbon copies. One of those funny terms that we've held on to despite it having no physical or literal relevance to our lives. Carbon copies. These were still in use to some extent when I was in primary school, but carbon paper, I guess actually this does sometimes still exist when you're signing for certain services in person, but a sheet of carbon paper that will be imprinted by the pressure of the writing implement on the top page and therefore create a copy underneath. Completely zen. Calm, I suppose. What we should aim to be while solving the crossword. World's fastest land animal, up to 70 miles per hour, presumably a cheetah, and icing, essentially, Is it sweet? Probably not, no. The most populous Hawaiian island, which actually Oahu came up in the crossword yesterday or the day before as Obama's birthplace. Okay, last runner in a relay. Still don't see that. That's irritating. Let's go back up. All right. Farm towers could be silos where grain and such is stored. Superiors to corporals. Is a sergeant superior to a corporal? Let's see. Scoring 100% on, which is what we aim to do in the crossword, is acing it. And outdoes in a back and forth. One ups, I would think. It's a long story, a saga might be a long story, and lemonade plus blank equals Arnold Palmer. Lemonade and iced tea is an Arnold Palmer. I can't, my voice is hoarse and I can't enunciate today. This is a disaster. Okay, like the equation y equals 2x plus 3. Oh, linear. So a linear equation by which I believe this means if you were to plot it on a graph, it would form a line. It would be linear as opposed to, for instance, if you had if you were plotting power, if it was, for instance, x squared plus 3, then you would get an arc. You'd get some kind of parabolic equation, I guess. Okay, 1986 number one hit by Falco. Oh, this is Rock Me Amadeus. Haven't heard that in many years. Month for trick-or-treaters would be October. Not very timely clue. We're as far from October as you can get now. So icing, essentially. What is this? I don't know. Last runner in a relay. Is it something leg? Huh. Surprisingly challenging little section for me for a Monday, but I'm just not seeing these things. What is this? Oh, slice and dice could be chop up. Oh, anchor. The last runner in a relay. Anchor, perhaps, and on the down low. Icing, essentially. So, oh, I spelled Oahu wrong. Sorry. Icing essentially is sugar. It's essentially sugar. There we go. That would have been much easier had I not made that mistake. I was looking for something with an O, which made no sense to me. All right, prefix with seps, triceps, the muscle, and worth pointing out that triceps with an S and similarly biceps with an S, those aren't plurals. The singular actually has the S on it. Okay, call wrongly would be to miss something. And ones foretelling the future are seers. Place that's an appropriate rhyme for a spa, I suppose, because you might say out of a sense of relaxation and comfort. Capable could be adept. I sometimes feel adept at crosswords and sometimes I don't. Arthur Blank Stadium, U.S. Open locale. Arthur Ashe Stadium, the great tennis player Arthur Ashe. If something ran out of battery, it died. A big name in ice cream. Boy, this also came up within the last, I think, 2 days in the crossword. So both Edie, the eponym of a particular ice cream brand, and Oahu. And neither of them is something I would consider to be overwhelming crossword ease. Maybe Edie somewhat more than Oahu. But still, it's no ode. All right, anyway, in blank, as found. If something is in situ, it's as it was found. Oh, and on the download secretly, of course. There we go. That makes sense. And title lyric heard 41 times in a 1965 Beach Boys hit, Help Me, Rhonda. Which, when you pronounce it that way, it sounds much more distressing than the way it does in the song, which sounds very lighthearted and fun. When you say it earnestly, it sounds more sinister. Okay, school for 3 and 4-year-olds informally would be pre-K, pre-kindergarten, and Italy's Blue Grotto is a famous one. Sea Cove or something? Persian Gulf land, the United Arab Emirates, I would think. And conservationist John, who co-founded the Sierra Club, would be John Muir, after whom the Muir Woods are named. To heed is to obey, as in a warning, for instance. A sharp part of a knife is obviously its edge. Oh, and to call wrongly could be to misname. I didn't fill that in earlier because I was wondering if it was perhaps call I don't know, point in a game wrongly. It could be a number of ways to call things wrongly, but in this case, it's calling somebody by their incorrect name. A designer item from Hermes or Kate Spade would be a bag, looks right. Cogito, cogito or cogito? Boy, really, my gaps in pronunciation, gaps in pronunciation are very much exposed by the series. Anyway, some, I think, therefore I am, I believe is what that is. And gripe and I think I'll pass. Maybe no. And I think this here is mapping directly to the in no. It's especially in a Monday puzzle, it's being very direct and really helping us out with the solve. So what is this? Red-haired toy craze of 1996. Oh, well, maybe this is no rather than no. So fair enough. They're pretty equivalent. But I think this is Tickle Me Elmo. I really remember that. I wonder if toys still go through that sort of seasonal craze these days. They probably do. I don't know. Maybe less so in the era of Fortnite and apps and things. Maybe I'm not sure. But boy, that was crazy. I remember news stories about parents getting into fist fights in the middle of a toy store and things like that, trying to secure the last Tickle Me Elmo. Anyway, to gripe is to moan. An activity for a snow day is a sled ride, maybe? Let's check the crosses on that. 99 Lift Balloon Singer, 1984. Nina, I believe. Is it Nena or Nina? Not sure. Let's delete sled ride for now, just in case. An ultimate purpose would be end goal or end what? Here we have a bonus item, could be an add-on. That does look like sled, doesn't it? And here we have big initials in 1990s internet, AOL, America Online, which also came up in a puzzle recently. And here we have yes, Cap'n, contraction of captain. Anyway, I guess that's not necessarily relevant to the clue. It could have been yes, captain spelled out, and the answer could still equally well be I. Penalty for missing the payment deadline could be a late fee. To make the rounds. So rounds could be, I mean, it could be physically something round. It could be um, a round of beers. I mean, it could be the rounds. In other words, make the rounds, do the sort of routine. But I think it isn't that because there's a question mark indicating some sort of pun. So I'm not sure which meaning it is. Let's move on for now. They say this ain't over until the fat lady sings, which I suppose is most often associated with opera. I wonder if I wonder if that's because in some early and influential staging of probably a Wagner opera, The Ring Cycle or something, maybe there was a large woman who was cast in a particular role who sung at the end. I don't know. I don't know where that comes from, but there must be something like that. Or maybe it was illustrated as such in in a famous comic strip and that went on to become well known. I don't know. Anyway, Italy's Blue Grotto is a famous one, so probably is Sea Cave, which is what I thought. And then a large wine container is a vat. Adidas competitor, that's a shoe brand, is what? I don't know. No blank do. No can do. And a large feline kept as a pet by Salvador Dali would be an ocelot, I suppose, based on this fill. Classic Spanish rice dish, paella. There we go. And another long answer here. A request from the voracious plant in Little Shop of Horrors. I've actually not seen Little Shop of Horrors. I've seen the movie poster, so I know it has a sort of Venus flytrap type plant. Feed, feed me something. I'm guessing. Oh, I suppose the theme is something to do with me because here we have rock me Amadeus, help me Rhonda, tickle me Elmo, and feed me. I suspect something. So we've got me in between the various uh, words. It's sort of sandwiched. And do we have a revealer for this theme? No, doesn't look like it. So we'll just have to figure it out on our own. Signs of nearby sharks could be fins uh, protruding from the water. Symbols in movie ratings could be stars, a 4-star rating, for instance. A clothing store department could be the men's department. Christopher, who directed Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan, and to make the rounds tend bar. So it is indeed rounds of drinks in this case, and it's a bit of a pun. It's I don't know that I fully explained this, but the question mark is an indicator of a pun or bit of wordplay. So that's telling us that make the rounds doesn't mean the surface reading that we would typically assume in idiomatic speech. Something here is a bit more of a pun, and in this case, the bartender makes the rounds, prepares the rounds of drinks. So that's what that means. Comment after getting off. Oh, maybe this is another theme answer. Comment after getting off a dizzying amusement park ride. I feel, no, I guess it's not. I feel sick, perhaps. And a large beer container could be a keg of beer. Which came first, this or the chicken? This being the egg. And a butt could be a cig. And we have butt in quotation marks, I suppose because it's a bit of slang, although I don't really feel as though it would be any less accurate without the quotation marks. I suppose, again, it's a Monday puzzle and we're getting a bit of help. Okay, Falco of The Sopranos is Edie Falco, the actor, and Activity for a Snow Day is indeed a sled ride. Feed me. I don't know what the plant wants. Ultimate purpose, the end use, of course. And here we have a number of characters indicating profanity. My toe, yow, perhaps a cry of pain. I'm gonna have to check the crosses on that, certainly. Stitches could be sews, so stitches as a verb rather than a noun. You always want to make sure you think of the different parts of speech a word could be. And then here we have VIPs at board meetings, CEOs, chief executive officers. Adidas competitors, ASICS. I recognize that now that I see it, but I didn't remember it before. So what is this? Feed me. Oh, feed me Seymour? I thought I deleted the Y initially because it didn't look like a word would fit very well there, but it must be a name. Um, I don't know. Yeah, as I said, I haven't seen the film, so I don't know the reference, but that must be right. And then yes, a military cafeteria is a mess. So I believe this is all correct. Let's try it. That's the Monday puzzle for you. And for whatever reason, I struggled with this one in certain places more than I ordinarily would on a Monday. Usually on Mondays, a pretty straightforward puzzle for me, and it largely was. But there were a few areas I found tricky. This Feed Me Seymour, which I didn't know, and oh right, I've really struggled with this sugar after misentering Oahu. That was ridiculous. Um, oh, what is this? Oh, French writer Jean Genet. Uh, I know of this writer, but I've never read any of his works. And I didn't see it when I was going through the first time, I don't think. Anything else I didn't see, actually? Maybe, but maybe not. I think I saw most of the rest of this. Oh, end use took me a few moments. Anyway, let me know if you found this a completely ordinary Monday or a little bit tricky or anything else. I'm curious. I'm always sort of curious to know that actually. I do read all the comments on the videos. I only tend to read the ones that are sort of correcting me or providing further context. But I do read every single one of them and I always enjoy them. So thanks to everyone who leaves comments. And anyway, that's it for today's puzzle. Thank you for watching the solve. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, and you will see these videos easily aggregated for you in whatever method, whatever sort of level of notification preferences you specify. And if you are interested in directly supporting this channel, well, I suppose one thing you could do is pass it along to a friend, and the other thing you could do is to check out and possibly join the Patreon campaign. And over there, is a whole bevy of bonus solves, such as the monthly New York Times bonus puzzle, the weekly mini puzzle speed runs, the Boss Words Fall Themeless League, very, very difficult competition puzzles. If you want to see me really struggle with some crosswords, join the Patreon. Um, and also an exclusive mug that's been recently sent out to some of the early backers of the Patreon, and I'm looking forward to getting mine when my when my own backing of my own Patreon campaign ticks over at the beginning of next month. So the thing that the people who are entitled to the mug receive as well is recognition at the end of these videos. And today I would like to thank DomoCute, as well as the inestimable Hood Monster and the incomparable Shantanu Bhatia. So thank you, DomoCute, thank you, Hood Monster, and thank you, Shantanu, for your generous ongoing support. It helps make this series sustainable and a real thing for me, which is incredibly gratifying, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you. And thank you to everyone else who's back to Patreon, and to you for watching this video. I hope you'll do just that again tomorrow on Tuesday, when we solve what is most likely another relatively approachable early week crossword. So join me then. I hope you do. But until that point, have an excellent remainder of your Monday. Take care.